Okay, welcome back to another episode of the Elk Lodge podcast. My name is Paul. Here we have
I'm Christine.
And our guest today is Jordan Lipshutz.
That's me. That's what they call me.
Cheers, everybody.
Salud.
Salud, for sure.
Okay, so Jordan is one of our oldest friends. If anyone saw the Jeff Respects podcast, Jordan is of the same group.
Oh, Jeff?
You know that guy, right?
Great friend. He's a good fella.
He's a fella indeed. I'm going to go no headphones. You guys rock them.
No?
I'm going without them. Just because I have shitty ones.
Raw dogging it.
Yeah, I'm raw dogging it. But yeah, so Jordan's here visiting us. This is an in-person interview.
Yeah.
For those just listening.
I heard my friends were making a podcast. I was like, I'm just going to jeopardize my health and the health of others. I'm running across the country to do this thing live.
Well, it was essential.
Yes.
It was essential.
This is essential business right now.
It's true. It had to happen.
When did we first meet?
Well, to go back, I'm not running across the country to do a podcast. I feel like I need the clarifying. I came here for the good vibes. I just needed a little break from, I'm in Chicago, and we had like 9 straight days under freezing there. So I don't know. I just had to pull the ripcord and do it.
Yeah. I think the
Well done.
It was a great move. Yeah.
Lots of personal stuff going on.
Had some personal stuff going on. We can jump into the heavy right away.
Let's get heavy.
Let's knock it out.
My dad passed away, what was it, end of January. And I don't know. It's a crazy thing. My dad wasn't in the best health, but, you know, for a lot of my life. And we were kind of prepared for a day it was going to be coming, but it just kind of came out of the blue. And yeah, still like sorting through the grief and everything. I'm in a pretty decent place, but like this was something that I thought would be like great for the grieving process. Just get out of like where I was, go somewhere else, be with my good friends. You guys have like a great environment here. I mean, you start a podcast, you got all this art around, you know, just to be in this like creative environment. It's really helpful.
Does it feel good being here?
Oh, it feels really good.
I was going to say, it all sounds good on paper, but how's it working out in real life?
It's going great, man. Better than expected. I mean,
cool.
I don't know, no expectations, but it's so great to, I don't know, after a year of just like isolation, you know, I mean, I did this as safe as I could, and it's great to be here. And
right. This was your first time on an airplane, right? Since...
Yeah.
In your whole life. No, I mean, but during the pandemic, because we've flown quite a bit.
We have.
Don't tell anybody.
We're assholes.
But
it's a pretty solid experience. And like, you know, just reading about it before you go, I mean, the way that they filter air and everything, like, I think it's pretty.
They tell you all the right things. That's for sure. They tell you're like, just tell me what I want to hear, and you go on the website, they tell you exactly what you want to hear. The air is filtered. It's cleaner than any other air you'll get. And you're like, good. That's all I needed.
Top quality air.
That's all I needed.
Middle row's empty, you know?
Yeah. Middle row's empty. Guaranteed.
I had a row to myself. I mean, it couldn't have gone better. So hopefully we get that on the way back.
Well, wait, quick note. My sister also just traveled over the weekend and she flew home. And I know that you had no complaints, even traveling with a small, adorable dog named Dale.
Yeah, he'll probably make an appearance.
We'll talk
He's
more
probably
about
in the
Dale.
shot here over the couch.
There.
But yeah, my sister said she asked somebody who was just kind of loitering at the ticket entry for the plane. Like, obviously it wasn't their section or row or whatever. And they were just standing there with no mask on. And she was like, can you pull up your mask? And the lady hissed at her.
Oh,
on the plane?
Full-on hiss.
At like where the flight attendant checks you in, you know, as you're going to the little tarmac.
Yeah.
You know.
Or the jetway.
You know, whatever the hell
Okay.
they call it.
About to board the plane.
Can you believe that? A full-on hiss.
Hissed at your sister?
Yes, for asking her to pull up her mask.
Do you think it's ever appropriate to hiss at someone?
I honestly think it is quite a bold
If
statement.
someone's like, sometimes you need to play crazy a little bit. If someone's like following you home, like weirding you out.
A hiss is a great move there.
Or like, you know, like I'm crazier than you kind of move.
Yes.
A hiss is good.
Yeah.
In self-defense, a self-defense hiss, but this was a little, this wasn't
What's
in self-defense.
crazier, a hiss or a piss? Like a piss your pants? Or
This
a
is
like
crazier.
Like a marking your territory kind
just,
of thing? Or?
Either that or just like a full-on stare you in the eye and just
Pissing is a
standing there
move.
peeing down your leg.
There was someone I heard about, if someone tried to fight them, they would just get naked. Like just get naked and be like, let's go.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa. This guy's naked, you know?
Yeah.
He's got nothing to lose.
Yeah, he's got nothing to lose. Okay, going back to your father's death.
Yes. Daddy.
Was this the first death you dealt with? Do you have grandparents that have passed? Or?
I'm lucky to have two of my grandparents left. My dad's parents both. I mean, we've actually had quite a sequence in that side of the family. My sister had her kids, the twin boys, like what was it? There's 5 or 6. They're going to be 6 in September, and like pretty soon after they were born, my grandma passed, and then a couple years later, my grandpa passed. Who he was, they both lived pretty long. Like my grandpa was, I think 93, 94 when he passed, and then the year later, my dad did. So we've gone through quite a sequence of loss in that family, which sort of makes them easier to come together. But it's like, I don't know. My dad was 64, so definitely could have gone longer. But like, I don't know. It's a.
Do you feel differently?
Grief is a very challenging thing. It's like I very much hold it together, but like there's moments. I mean, I was even telling you guys, like we just went to the park the other day and we were like walking there. We were going to just go kick a ball around and like wasn't thinking of anyone in particular. It's almost like these like storm clouds that come. They just, like an hour I was just out of it and I didn't want to talk and I sort of got in my head and got self-conscious and then it just naturally like passed. So
is that 100% grief or does that happen to you sometimes even before this? Like sort of the cloud comes and you're like just
I mean, I don't think it's a grief thing either. Like I think I think a lot of what I am thinking about these days is grief stuff.
Gotcha.
But like, a creative block can sometimes feel like that sometimes.
Sure,
yeah. And I know you mentioned too, just being away from your house and your environment that you've literally been, completely attached to nonstop for a year. It's like, it's a stressor for a lot of people. And I think when you're going through something emotionally, it's easy to kind of get triggered easily by things.
Well, I was going to say like to that, like, I mean, this year, like, I'm working from home with my job. I'm a graphic designer. And like at the beginning, I was so nervous about that and resistant. I'm like, this is not like my home's not my environment I created. And I have to be like in my office with people making stuff, like looking at each other's screens and stuff. And I was resistant to it. And then all of a sudden, like I got to this place where like my house is where I feel comfortable and everything. And I've been kind of doing things in isolation a little bit, so like coming and living with people, like, it's an adjustment. It's just weird how your norms are constantly shifting this past year.
Yeah. I feel like my social skills are worse.
Well, that's another thing we were talking. So I had to go in the office for something and I was talking about it with a coworker. It's like, with Zooms and everything, it's like you have that scheduled time that you're going to like turn on the camera and see someone. And then at the end of it, you can just click a button and, and in a meeting, you can turn off your camera. You can just click a button and go away. And we were like that whole, like approaching someone to talk to them in the office or like that, like, when you say goodbye, like we're all having to learn to do that little exchange of just like, coming face to face.
You have a little
with
fuzz
someone.
on your beard, by the way.
I still think a little lime zest. I was going to give
Lime's
you
a little higher on the chin.
Right.
Down. Yeah. Oh, close. Here. Come here. Oh, you got it.
There it is.
Did your feelings, sorry to get back to this.
Thanks.
I'm always
good looking out there, bud.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate it.
I'm always fascinated about
friend,
death in general. Like death is fascinating.
Yes.
Did your ideas of what death is or what death means or what life is or anything like that, did that change at all when your dad passed? Like, did anything surprise you about how you feel about what just happened?
Not to interject too soon, but we did have some observations and we're a little bit surprised because we haven't talked to you about this that much, about like your level of spirituality. And there was a few remarks I remember you saying in this whole process that surprised me and was kind of interesting.
Yeah. Well, what were some of those? Or should I answer the question first?
Answer the question.
You
answer the question.
You get.
Why don't you answer the?
I don't want to lead the answer.
Tell us about death. That's a really good question because I actually haven't thought about the whole like higher level of like this experience, how that's like changing my perception of reality or death or living or any of that. But I have always kind of not feared death. Like I believe we're just such, we're here for a finite amount of time. Like it's our course to be born and pass on. And, we can get into like what comes after you pass, but like, I wouldn't say I'm excited for death because that's a really dark thing to say, but it's just like that's another step in like your journey of who you are, your spirit and everything. So like and I think in conversations with my dad, like he was someone that really was afraid of death, and we never talked about the why. But I don't know if that difference came from like what he believed and I believe, but like it's not something that phases me. Like I know it's going to come. I think what's on the other side hopefully can be maybe not better or worse, but like it's just a new experience, So I don't. That doesn't faze me. That it can something that can come.
But you do feel there is something on the other side. What's your best guess?
Yeah. What's my best guess? That's the toughest thing.
Of course. I mean, it's
I
impossible.
have this like feeling that there is something there, and probably not something you're conscious of, but like your essence endures past this life for sure. I don't know why. I'm convinced of that. I think you like experience so many things walking around in nature and animals and scents and sounds and all that. Like if you come back as a scent or a sound or something, like I think it's rooted in reincarnation, but it's loose ideas that are all jumbling around.
Of course. And I mean,
we don't have to have the answers.
Yeah, we don't have the answers, but I was just curious. Because I sort of feel like, I don't even know if there's a spirit. Like I question, like people talk like there's a spirit. I don't know. I don't necessarily think there is.
Oh, you got a soul. Come on.
Why? I mean, why do I have a soul? Like, couldn't I not have a soul?
Then, I mean, everybody, I don't know. How are you if you don't have the core of your essence?
I mean, I think I have essence and I have meanness.
Can spirit like manifest itself? Like there's just so much, I don't know. Like I feel like pieces of living things endure in different matter, if that makes sense.
That's kind of how I believe it.
I mean, like
there's just so much in our world, in our universe that's matter. Like I think energies transfer into different things.
That I do agree with.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's like a ripple effect, even of the words we're speaking right now. It's going out, it's affecting the chair, and therefore it's affecting India, in some very small way. Like everything is affecting everything.
The butterfly effect.
Sure. But
I never saw that movie.
I didn't either, but we know what it's about. We get it.
It was all
We got it. We got it from the preview. It was like,
well, I saw Back to the
up,
Future, and
not
Back to
two.
the Future is like the same thing.
there you go. Just without Ashton Kutcher.
Back to the Future didn't have the darkness that the butterfly effect had.
Biff was kind of scary.
Biff was a bad dude.
Biff in the future when he found that almanac.
Yeah. Bad intentions there.
Almanac. Did I say it wrong? What's in this?
It's fun.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just interesting.
juice.
What do you think? You think there's a soul, a spirit?
I do, yeah.
Because I was thinking about with robots,
Sure.
right? They're like,
R.I.P. Daft
will
Punk.
robots gain like consciousness? And people talk about consciousness sort of as like, it's almost like it'll be a program that you can put consciousness into a robot. But I feel like it's more just a level of intelligence that robots will for sure accomplish. Like that it's like, this is a table, this is a microphone, like this, that's my hand. Oh, that's a part of me. Who am I? Like that, I feel like a robot could get to that who am I? Well, like what is me question. And once you're there, what's the difference between that robot and me as far as like a soul or a
how
spirit?
you arrive at that information, right? A human being learns about things by, when they're earliest, like sticking something in their mouth and tasting everything, right? That's why babies do that. They're learning with their mouth. But a robot's going to learn it through code, through sequencing, through, analytical data. So
You got the shot there, bud?
Yeah, that camera stopped for no reason.
I don't know.
But
I think
a
the path that
robot
you-
would do the same thing. I mean, they're
but it
training
doesn't-
robots to learn. It'll learn that that's a bottle,
Well,
and when it sees a bottle that's a
doesn't
different
learn-
shape, it'll still figure it out.
doesn't learn a bottle from touching it and feeling that it's cool and giving your hand a cool sensation. It doesn't feel it the same way of tasting the beer and getting quenched from the liquid inside. It doesn't learn the same way.
Sure.
It doesn't process information the way the human brain does.
I agree, but does that mean I have a soul?
There's the kicker, and that's the question.
Like,
well,
I
my
just don't-
question
I don't
with
know if I do.
robots is, do you believe us developing them building their own artificial intelligence? Do you think robotics and AI and all that, is that a course of evolution?
We kind of got into this the other day because
Is it a course of evolution?
some people really resist the idea
Or
of
is-
this,
or is-
right? Or really afraid of this. But Jordan was saying he's full on happy to go bionic, volunteers himself anytime. And he already is, he's got the smart watch.
Yeah, I'm very into I mean, I got the watch, and I'm
Sure.
like, my home's like all Google homed out.
So you're somebody who's further along in this
I just embrace
evolutionary
it. I'm
process.
I'm fascinated by the tech, AWOL, and I think in most cases it's just a nice compliment to things you do in your life, and like, yeah, I fully embrace if we're gonna become like part bionic or something.
I mean,
like,
we already sort of are. Like
would-
we,
that
have
train-
we have a computer. It's not in us, but it's on us.
Right.
At all times.
right, and that bullet train. I mean, like,
Yeah. Is it
You just
evolution?
can't get
I don't know,
away.
but there's no stopping it. I mean,
Well, I believe it probably will. It's like the nature versus nurture thing. Like eventually it's going to infiltrate our lives so much that we can no longer see sort of the natural barriers between kind of what we were and where we are, currently. But I think we both actually have a little bit more of a complicated view with technology and more of like a go play in the dirt approach to life where
Yeah.
it's sort of like, I mean, it's ironic to say that we're like mic'd up and everything's so electronic, but I think we're like kind of climb tree playing.
well, I don't
playing
think
the
that's
part
gonna go.
people.
I mean, I think there's a balance. Of
There
that.
is a
I
balance.
agree. That's what I mean, and I just mean that you can't. For us, we would never want to be like completely.
I don't think
animated.
Jordan would either. You
No.
enjoy the outdoors.
Oh
you
my
like
God, I love it.
camping.
He's
Yeah.
test subject
He just
number one.
embraces.
He's gonna sign
technology.
up for every study.
Honestly, the best thing about coming here, one of
I
the
know
best
it.
things besides seeing you guys, like, I've been working at this table and everything, and I'll just take breaks and go outside and just have my toes in the grass out there, and just feel the grass between my toes. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, so you are still human.
yes, human after all. R.I.P.
Congratulations.
Daft Punk.
I thought you had gone full robot.
And Bunny Wailer. Bunny Wailer died.
Oh yeah,
That's the sound. But anyway, sorry not to get off
we'll
subject.
get into the music.
We got music coming.
But yeah, you are probably the best at integrating technology into your life than anybody I know. You're the only person I know who uses the cloud correctly. Like if there's,
haven't
do I
fully
have
figured that
Do I
out.
have photos on the cloud? Do I have video? I don't
photos
know.
thing is
You'll
confusing.
be like, I got this photo here. Wait, it's in my cloud, and then you'll pull it up. For me, it's like, where's my cloud?
iCloud.com.
Show me the cloud. I don't know where the cloud is.
Yeah. It's a thing. Like, I mean, I guess I've gotten it through work. Like, we have everything stored in Google Drive or Dropbox or one of those. But
I'm a big fan of Google Drive. Dropbox can suck it. Not
Yeah?
not a fan
what's your
of
problem
Dropbox.
with Dropbox?
I got beef with it too.
Really, I think
I used to
know.
use it. Now I'm not anymore.
I
I'm
don't-
Google.
I don't like that you can't just, if somebody sends you something, it always seems impossible for me to just download it to my
I know,
computer.
there's
It's like you got to
always-
sign into Dropbox, you got to put it in your Dropbox, and then you can download it.
and
It's
then
like, I don't want to
everybody
log into my
has to
Dropbox.
have the right kind of permission. Everybody's got to
Yeah.
save the file correctly. It just
That's
feels,
probably by design. I mean, they hide the like straight download button. Like, it's not that obvious in Google either. You know.
I don't know. I think
It's-
I think
They
I
want you
found
to
it, I
mess
found it
around and
on
press
Google.
other
I couldn't
buttons
find
and-
it in Dropbox. But maybe we're just dumb.
You know
but
what?
yeah, you are good with technology. And you had the lights where you can ask for the color before anyone I knew.
Oh yeah, the
You were like,
smart
Google,
bulbs.
make the lights blue or whatever.
you have
Yeah.
a bidet, which is arguably high
I have
tech.
a, but that was one of my quarantine purchases.
a
I've
good
had a
one.
bidet.
few.
It's
of
the
those fun
tushy,
ones.
which
the
is
tushy.
that's
From
the one-
HelloTushy.com.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
Is this the
right.
part where we cut to do the? Do we do an ad
Yeah,
read
I'll
for
pull
Tushy?
out and I'll just play a Steve-O ad read for Tushy. They advertise on Steve's podcast
Oh,
a lot.
do they?
So I've done a lot of Tushy.
I
ad
have been
reads.
missing it here. I have.
Yeah, I thought about
It's a
getting one.
wonderful thing.
Christine didn't want one. Not that
into
like,
the bidet.
but even if it was there, you wouldn't.
I'm a low tech,
You just wouldn't
old
have to use it.
fashioned, wipe my own butt kind of girl.
Yeah.
That's what I love about you. What do you
don't know.
Are you familiar,
nice.
Christine, with the concept of the singularity with robots?
No.
I'm not familiar with this.
That is basically, we're headed towards a moment where a robot, without the help of a human, can make its next gen self, can make a robot smarter than itself. And as soon as that happens, then this one makes one smarter than it. Like, as soon as that moment happens, it goes, and it's just like, it's gone.
Well, that's artificial intelligence. I mean, that's already
Yeah.
happening. Like that. I think probably that point could be coming. Like when self-driving cars, like those are going to be constantly analyzing traffic patterns, like reading what other cars do and making that system better.
These are going to be the new conspiracy theories. Like instead of releasing or like keeping the UFO sighting documentations classified, it'll be like robots gone wrong. You know, we'll be like,
and robots will hide it from Google searches.
We'll never know how awry things have gone because they don't want us to know.
That's true. Robots. It'll just be like, here's another season of The Voice. Like, we love it. Yeah. I'm excited about self-driving cars. That's one where I'll get right on board with the technology.
Yeah.
Like
that's coming really fast.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm stoked.
People are doubling down on it.
I'm about it.
Have you seen them? Like, I think they're testing them more up north in San Francisco.
A car driving without a person in the driver's seat?
I mean, it's. I think they're doing them in like Arizona and then I think up north in San Francisco. I don't know if you've seen them at all in LA.
Yeah. I've been in one, but it was still like with...
You've been in one?
I've been in a Tesla and...
Oh, when they do the whole...
Like the whole parking, it was like she parallel parked without doing anything.
That's, I'm single and that's like one of the things, I think that would be a great date idea is to just go around and like test drive cars like as a date.
Oh,
like,
wow.
I've always wanted to be in a Tesla. I haven't done it yet.
I drove my buddy Scott's Tesla.
Yeah.
And it's like, we got to a red light. He was like, all right, now when it turns green, just punch it. And I was like, okay. And like, it was like it was just, and it's
like doesn't
silent.
make a sound.
It was so eerie. I felt like I was just going to like, I got scared, like.
That's such a different experience than when you're in the car with me where I'm like watching your odometer be like, it's really fast.
Yeah, when I'm driving, Christine's just like this.
Fast.
Wait,
I'm nervous. I'm nervous getting driven around. I'm nervous in the
Someone's
car.
coming to visit you.
Hey there, buddy.
Oh yes. All right.
I'm a fast driver, and my friends don't like it.
Love to go fast.
So I respect. Yeah.
So this has been the course of what's been happening while I'm here, because I brought my son out here to visit, and he's got new parents.
Do you have anything to say?
We're his godparents. Dale, talk to the people.
Do you have anything to say? They want to see your cute face.
So that's Dale.
Yeah, Dale's been a sweetie. He's been sleeping with Christine and I, but I think that's because you have the air mattress.
I'm on the air mattress.
And it's not as good.
Yeah. It's all right. I'm enjoying it, but
good. I'm glad.
He's a prince. This guy.
Any of our listeners have any good recommendations for like a better option maybe like
Sattva.
Maybe a futon that works well for you? Let me know. Comment down below because I need to know.
Wait, for mattress recommendations?
No, I really want, like, ideally a futon that could just be a couch by day, and then when we have people sleeping over, we can lay it out.
What was that thing you mentioned your sister has?
It's a glorified futon, except it looks nice and it's couch-like, and it's big enough for her and her large husband, who's like 6'7". So that's a good sign to me if he can sleep comfortably on it.
I feel like that there's an area of opportunity there. You know how you get like served Instagram ads for like everything under the sun. There's all these like, they're all marketed the same and like have the same design and everything. I don't think anyone's done a cool guy futon yet.
Cool guy futon? What do you mean?
Just one of those like cool Instagram-y brand futons. Like there's the Tushy bidet or
right. Nobody's really.
How can you make a futon really cool?
I bet we can. Let us know.
It'd be funny if you had like a futon waterbed, but like it'd be a nightmare to.
You ever slept on a waterbed?
I have.
No.
My grandparents
Parker Slade had the waterbed. That was the only waterbed I ever sat on.
My aunt had one growing up.
And my grandparents did
Very
too.
strange.
Parker had one and it popped.
It's a bizarre experience for sure.
Loud, sloshy,
uncomfortable.
Very bad for your spine.
I don't like
bad
the
in every way.
Yeah.
The sloshiness is weird.
Kind of cool. Like you like get on it and you're like, oh, that's cool and different. And then you're just over it really quick.
Yeah, it's cool to like say you have.
No judging, Aunt Pam.
No.
Love you, Pammy.
Okay.
All right, well, let's talk about music. Bunny Wailer died.
Bunny Wailer died, yes.
One of the original founders of the Wailers. Bob Marley was, the Wailers. You've heard of the Wailers?
Of course.
Okay.
Yes, so
Of course.
So it was Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, and Bunny Livingston.
I'm not good
and Bunny
with names
just died.
Is the real issue here.
And Jordan and I saw Bunny Wailer at Reggae Fest in 2008.
that was one of the craziest
And it was the
live
best
experiences.
reggae show ever.
Now,
I've
like,
ever
how many
seen.
other reggae shows? I mean, do you go to a
I've
lot
seen
of
the
reggae?
Wailers. I've seen Stephen Marley, Ziggy Marley, Damian Marley.
Sure.
All
kit and caboodle.
all this,
sure.
Soja
sure.
bullshit. Like I've seen it all. As far as that stuff goes.
Yeah, that was a great one.
But
the other nice add to that show was, I mean, obviously Bunny, and I don't know what other surviving members there are, but Aston Family Man Barrett, he was the bassist for the Wailers, and arguably he's one of the reasons I picked up a bass. His stuff is just incredible. Oh, but I was really hyped that he was going to be there and watch him play because he was
I didn't know that.
Big influence on me. Yeah,
I remember the backup singers were like 3 elderly men, and it was kind of gospel-y. Like old Bob Marley is more gospel, more modern reggae is has a little more of a hip hop cut to it.
Yeah,
and it's always not that dope. Mm-hmm. But the Bunny Wailer show was like a gospel.
Yeah.
It was so.
Do you want to talk about the best part of that?
I'll let you. You're the guest.
Okay. I've never seen anyone do this, but he would play. They would, they had a long set. They played a number of songs. Every single song, they would play. They'd start up, play the first 90 seconds, 2 minutes, and then all of a sudden, boom, all the band would, and then they just start it over.
And he would go, rewind, or whatever.
Every single song.
And then we go, and then just start it from the top.
Which, the first 2 times we were like, oh, yeah. And then, probably times 3 or 4, we were like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we were just like, okay, they're going to be doing this we just we were so into it.
Every song.
Yeah. It's a good party. It made a good time.
We asked.
The build-up. I love a good build-up in a song. So if it's the right formula, play it back. I'm down.
Yeah.
Plus, we all have increasingly smaller and smaller attention spans. Mm-hmm. So really, to play the beginning where people are flipping through their songs to land on it actually makes sense.
Yeah. Well, then I don't know where phones were at that time. That was 2008, but run it back for everyone that missed it on their camera phones. So,
right.
They want to get it for the
what
gram.
did we have? We would have had flip phones then? Was the Razr big?
08 was when did the first iPhone come out?
But it wasn't I
think first screen. iPhone was 2007.
So you probably had one.
I don't know when I got an iPhone. I miss my flip phone, honestly.
The flip phone was a great fidget. It was amazing. The slide phone too. I had the slide phone at one point.
Oh, the one from the
Matrix?
Matrix?
Nokia. Yeah. It was lime green along the sides.
I love the little Nokia. It was candy bar size, and you could tech deck skateboard with it.
I think you were the only one that tech decked your phone.
No, me and John Parker. John would do. It'd be 360 nollie or whatever. We would do all sorts
rough,
of shit.
He was very rough on his phones growing up. You used to leave your phone on the roof of your car on the rag and just drive off with it.
It wasn't a thing I did on purpose, but
He's forgetful.
It was the day after we graduated high school. I left my wallet and my nice shoes on the roof of my car and drove home from Charlie's place, and everything was just scattered on the highway or whatever.
The best one was we went to Charlie's house one day, and you got there first, and Daniel and I pulled up.
Oh yeah.
And we get there, Paul's car is just in the driveway. It's still running, and the door's open. And you were just so excited to get inside and do whatever.
I guess so.
You just forgot to turn off your car and close the door.
And then you guys moved it.
Yes,
you moved it and didn't tell me. So then I go.
You a lesson.
I go out and I'm ready to leave, and I'm like, guys, I think my car is gone. And they let me sweat it for a second. They're like, okay, we moved it, but you're a fucking idiot.
Want to talk about Dale?
I do.
By the way, we should shout out to your sister Melissa because she was really excited that this is going to happen. So shout out to Mel.
Big podcast fan. Hi, Miss. How you doing?
And Jennifer, speaking of podcasts, do you think your nephew?
Everyone back home in Chicago.
Do you think your nephew's going to end up being a host? I got such a kick out of that video.
Thing. So I have two nephews. They're twins.
Backstory.
I have 2 nephews. They're twins. They're 5. And fraternal twins. They look nothing alike. Taylor has straight blonde hair. Bradley has curly brunette hair, and very different personalities too. Taylor's a lot like I was growing up. He's kind of go off in the corner. He'll do his own thing, play with his toys himself, make all these noises and stories and everything.
Right. His
imagination's incredible. Mm-hmm. I think I'm really excited about where he's going to go with that. Bradley is very wants to be with everyone, wants to share jokes with people, just wants to engage with everyone. So it's very different. They've hardly ever been apart their whole lives, and they're just like developing so differently. I find that really interesting.
That is
It's
interesting.
so
But like Bradley's
fascinating.
thing right now, you know, I mean, the whole thing, like kids these days, like their big thing is like watching like unboxing or like reaction videos on YouTube and stuff. And Bradley's super into those. And like we got him like a little camera thing, and he's like starting to make his own like podcasts or videos. And like
They're
he
so
films
great.
himself and just goes like, "Hey guys, like how's it?" It's,
No,
He
he's
talks
got
like a
the best-
YouTuber. He did
does.
like,
Yeah.
what are you going to be for Halloween this year? Like,
Yeah.
He's engaging. I was blown away.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
he
was
was
surprised.
like,
turn Dale this way because I think his balls are showing at the camera. Probably this is a better view.
Bumblebee tuna.
he's too young to have his balls
Work the
removed.
camera there,
Yeah. Give him your best angle.
We're
there,
coming
Dale.
up on it. They said to wait a year.
Wow, I think it's
Anywho.
interesting. He takes after his uncle because I think you are a very good host.
His
and
uncle
you-
or his father?
All right, Paul,
Uncle.
move over. I'm taking the shit. Here.
Uncle.
Sorry, continue.
I'm the boy's uncle.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Dale's uncle. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have interrupted.
Dale, do you have an uncle? I know
Maybe,
you have
I
a
don't know.
godmother.
I'm Dale's uncle.
No, I'm the godmother for sure. Right,
But
Jordan,
sorry,
can-
you were
can I-
saying.
Yes,
Can I get a confirmation on air that that's still?
Are we the
good?
godparents?
you guys are the godparents
Yay!
officially. You've done a lot of caring for him this week.
Yes.
You damn right.
Yes, I'll drink to that.
He wants to stay here. Like I might have to leave him with you guys.
No, he doesn't want to stay here.
Yeah,
He admits
I
it.
don't know.
I
He
am
likes you
beginning
guys
to feel a
lot.
bit awkward.
It's just
You've got a
because
kinship.
we're
We-
something different. Like he's
hit
his
it
whole
off.
life has been in quarantine.
I didn't plan to
Yes.
hit it off like this. You know, I mean, I knew I'd love him.
You're like, he's obsessed with
I
me.
feel like he's kind of obsessed with me, and I know it goes both ways because I'm obsessed with him. I woke up this morning just so happy, like his little face, just so cute,
He's a little chicken.
and he's just so.
He loves attention.
He
just-
loves attention.
That's common for a breed. He's a Boston Terrier, by the way, and like can't be away from people.
No,
like has to
he's
just
always
like,
at your
very
heels.
sociable. Yeah.
But I'm a fan.
a cutie.
And just when you feel special, you go to a park and he's like chasing little kids around, and you're like,
Yep.
oh yeah, he'll just take that love.
He was a
from
psycho
anybody.
though. The other day at the beach, like he didn't know when to stop playing. Like the
Yeah.
other dog was over, it and he would just like kept like
he's a
jumping, and the dog was
puppy.
like, "Get the-"
He's a puppy.
"Yeah, right. You're right."
You should see him with his cousin Henry. Shout out Henry. My sister's gonna be very excited that he makes an
Henry's
appearance on
cute, too.
podcast. Henry's a 140-pound Greater Swiss Mountain Dog, and like the two of them to get like he's 7 now. I think he's like a little getting tired and everything, and like Dale kind of gives him new life. Like he's like up and playing tug of war
Dale
with
gives
him.
everybody.
But
new
Dale
life.
puts up a fight against a 140
Happy.
pound. Like he wins tug of war with him sometimes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He lets him win. Then I mean,
He's a
there's no
good
way.
cousin.
He's a
Henry's
good cousin.
good older cousin. Yeah.
Sometimes you give, sometimes you take. That's how it goes.
Yeah. You know, I was trying to think of when we did meet Jordan,
Yes.
and I feel like our friendship sort of it like got a little start when we did that newspaper thing together at Wilmot. Do you remember that?
Newspaper thing?
It was like an after
PB&J,
school
was
club.
that it?
Yeah, it was an after school club. After school club, it was like the school newspaper.
Yeah.
And we had a column called PB&J.
Paul Brisky and Jordan.
Right.
Oh,
And
You're
we
the
like
one
went
name, rocking
behind the
the one
stage.
name.
We went behind the
It's a power
stage at
move.
Wilmot and like found like it was like a whole world back there. We found
We
it. We
tried to
wrote
do
an
this
article
whole like
about it.
column of like behind the scenes at our elementary school and everything. And
you
yeah,
guys are so cool. Like that's amazing. I love that.
I know.
what were you doing at Wilmot? Did you?
Nothing that cool.
Well, we were all friends. Like I mean, we.
I played a lot of sports at Wilmot. I spent a
did.
lot of time like out on the
CD
soccer
soccer
field.
gal.
Yep, I was out there playing football.
That was
playing
Christine's
soccer.
screen name on AIM.
God.
Loved the swings. Loved the monkey bars. I don't know what.
I was more of an indoor kid growing up.
Yeah, I was all
Well,
about
because you
running
broke your
around.
leg,
Yes.
especially really young, which probably set you back.
Yes, that did for sure.
Like you ran with a limp for a long time.
Oh yeah, like I fell off my bike when I was in first grade and I got like a double fracture in my tibia, and then like we just never like I had a cast on like way longer than I should have and just like didn't rehab it right. So I don't know, like I like just kind of wasn't athletic ever since that. But yeah, like was into indoor stuff.
Indoor stuff, aka music.
But it led you to like
AKA
when everyone
graphic
started
design.
skateboarding, like you'd film the skateboarding and you were
Yes.
like you found like a creative way to sort of be a part of it.
Yeah.
Maybe it led to where you are today, being so
Yeah,
creative.
that's part of it for sure.
You're a big connoisseur. I think of a lot. You have a lot of interests as well.
I try to.
You know,
I like to fill my
the
life with
production
different
side
things.
of things, the graphic design, single, in case any ladies are wondering.
Uchi.
Also,
Hello now.
Watch out.
you know, a big old foodie. Love her food. Love her
food.
cooking.
Hey, by the way, you're a foodie too. Where's that?
Oh yeah, where's that
Yeah.
Working
board?
on a board, right?
You guys see how
Or
I
did you
segued
segue to your board?
Yeah.
I segued in. Yes, I'm
Let's
getting
get that
better.
board
Okay,
out here.
I thought you'd never
Can you get
ask.
me one of these as well, please?
Sure.
I don't need the lime. Can we tell the story of?
Yeah, I'll take another.
Can we
Sounds
tell
good.
the story
Thanks, bud.
of our car crash escape from the janitor of Caruso?
So I was thinking about when we were talking about the driving. I was like, oh shit, we might have to.
There
tell
was
that story.
one. I think we should. It's like our
Yeah,
best
that's a
story.
good like interlude thing. Well,
You should tell it. You're the
I
guest.
think you should. It's
we'll,
like
we'll tell it together.
Okay.
All right. This is for the listeners because obviously Jordan and I both know this story, but it's great. So we were in jazz band. All right. When you go to jazz band concerts,
Again, I'm an indoor kid.
you wear a suit and tie or whatever. You wear like a button up and a tie. And so after one of the jazz band shows, our buddy Tony Tassoni says, "Hey, anyway, he says, hey, I got this like,
Well,
I got
no,
a
no.
TV
We
in
were
my
just
car.
driving.
I'm
No,
gonna smash it.
we got the TV. So we were just driving
Oh,
around.
thank
We were like by your house, and like someone was throwing out a TV, and we just like decided let's pick that up.
so it just lived in your car for a while?
It was in my car.
And it was like jazz band concert. We're going to smash this after.
Yes.
Because in Office Space,
Office
they're wearing the
Space,
suits and they
exactly.
smash
We thought it would just be cool. We
the
weren't going to
facts.
film it. We were just going to do
Right.
it.
We just thought it'd be awesome. So the jazz band concert ends. We drive over to the middle school, Caruso Middle School, shout out. And we park in the back where the parking lot backs up to like a baseball field. And we had bats and shit. And we were really hyped, me, you, and Tony. And we were, here's this board. And so
Look at this board.
guys, hell of a board.
You
That's
better bet.
that's a
about that
spread.
board.
And so we're
Easy, Dale.
we're smashing this
Easy.
thing. Like I remember we smashed the screen and it exploded because it's like a vacuum.
I don't think it ever exploded. So that was like an old monitor with like a thick like tube in it and vacuum, and like we were using aluminum bats on it, and it
But
was
we
like,
didn't get through it.
I can't remember. I don't.
I
think
remember
we
a
did. I mean, we
big
were
pop.
smashing the shit out of that with these aluminum bats, and it was like so loud, and it just like would not break.
So then a truck comes around the corner and is like coming up to our car. It's like the Night Janitor or something like that. And he comes and like
Night Janitor.
we
I'll
had
throw that on the band
Night
name list.
the Night Janitor.
The Night Janitor.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, later.
I'll get it in the edit.
Okay.
So we're backed up. So he parks his car right in front of us, sort of blocking us from pulling forward and getting out. And when we saw him coming, we're like, oh shit, and we ran it. We were sitting in the car.
Yeah.
We're like, oh shit. But then he got in front of us and we couldn't leave. He gets out of the car and he starts like writing down Jordan's license plate or something. And Jordan, in the just this great move, he just
Tokyo Drift moment.
puts it into reverse and backs up. So we're on the field now. We're in the grass and starts driving away. And so we're driving through the grass, trying to get to like out of the school area. This guy jumps back in his truck and he starts chasing us. Then I'm shotgun. Jordan's driving. I realize pretty soon we're going to get to a point where we're not going to be able to get back onto the road. So I'm like, you got to get over. So Jordan does like a sharp turn to get over back onto the road, but then we're headed straight for the school. Like it was a very sharp turn. It wasn't like so now we're headed straight for the school. But then I hear, and I look, and this guy comes with the truck and hits the side of Jordan's
T-bones
car,
us, yeah.
T-bones us, but that course corrects us. Now we're facing the right way. He like stops his car because he just crashed into some children. Jordan peels out. We get like as soon as we're out of the school, Jordan takes an immediate right onto a street, like a cul-de-sac, and just goes to the end, parks in someone's driveway, turn the car off, and we just sit. And we're like, what the fuck? And then we see like that guy's car not turn down this street. We see him go.
Didn't you say you went to Nikki's house?
Then so
We
this
were,
was
like, across from
we were
Nikki's.
across from Nikki's. Then we
Yeah.
drove over to Nikki's because we needed just like a safe driveway to sort of park. And Nikki's house was a safe haven for all sorts of shenanigans.
It always was.
And so then we get out of the car. Jordan sees the side of his car. I'm very relieved. I was like, fuck, that was awesome. And we got away with it.
It was. We had the moment of being like,
It's like a
Yeah.
Jeepers Creepers moment.
But Jordan
right there.
sees his car and goes like, oh, no. Like, I just remember the hands like, oh.
Yeah.
And like, because you were like, my parents are going to kill me.
My folks were none too pleased with that.
Oh, but it was glorious.
Okay, so you saw that. How? I think I remember. How much you think that damage was?
Cost?
Yeah.
A couple thousand, maybe?
It was like 800. It was not bad.
Worth it.
Yeah, and that door was like totally dented in.
Yeah, the door was done.
That was a fine moment for me.
Hysterical.
You really impressed me. That I was like,
I don't impress people much.
Jordan really, like, it was just a moment of glory that you
Under
had.
pressure,
Dale,
you
the
had
squeaky
it.
toys are not good for podcasts, bud. We talked about this.
thrived.
Yeah, that's one of my most exciting stories of my life.
It was
that
a good
was
time.
such a night.
And we were in suits and ties.
Let's talk about the mindset of the night janitor as he rammed into a car of
I don't think he expected us,
children.
Jordan, to take that sharp turn, because he was probably trying to stop. Like he honked and course corrected
He
us.
did not sign up for that shit.
No,
Yeah,
he needs a raise. That poor
But then he
man.
went out sort of hunting for us. Like,
It sounds like it too.
Was he the night janitor or was it like
maybe
Mr.
that was just, that could have been as thrilling for him as it was.
Yeah.
Like he's just having
He's
to
somewhere
sit in a
telling this
middle
story
school.
right now.
Oh, exactly.
His adrenaline.
He's
peaked.
on a podcast.
You know
also.
who? We don't know who he was. Maybe he wasn't the night janitor. Maybe he was up to some other shit.
Yeah, maybe he was
Yeah.
looking for dressed up little boys.
Do we know he was a janitor too?
I don't know,
think he
I'm
was.
sorry.
I was just thinking, like, who else is at Caruso at like 10
Security
p.m.
guard.
Security, night cleaning.
Yeah.
That was just my assumption.
Whoa,
Security of some
night
sort.
moves.
But yeah,
Well, I don't mean
I'm
to
glad we
ram
got
this
that there.
conversation off the road,
But there is a board here.
let's talk charcuterie.
all right. What's on the board
Is
here,
it
Christine?
charcuterie?
No.
Charcuterie.
Charcuterie.
Yeah.
It's hard to say, but it is.
Talk
great
about the
to
board.
eat.
It's a beautiful board.
I was hoping we could all talk about boards because who doesn't love a charcuterie
Well, so here's
board?
you can go through what's on the board. The impressive thing to me is I am a beefy boy through and through. I love meat. You guys, well, Christine, you're full on vegetarian. Are you vegetarian or vegan? You're vegetarian.
Just vegetarian, yeah.
And then you've kind of become vegetarian through proxy, right?
I'm not vegetarian, but I eat way less meat than I used to.
Well, I'm
not on any
I'm eating
team.
way less meat here too, and it's going great. Everything's delicious. You guys are awesome cooks, and
Thank you.
dang, a charcuterie board without meat, it works.
Is that your staple? That's like meat, cheese, cracker. Like, how do you
Some
build
choice
it?
meats
Meat
do
and
make a
cheese.
board
If
good.
you're
yeah.
building a charcuterie board,
You gotta
Charcuterie?
base it around meat and cheese, but you're proving to me you're not.
Charcuterie.
It's more about the cheese, and the mustard is big.
Okay, so
Mustard.
on this
I like
board,
honey. I like
we
honey
have
on
a
the board, too.
mustard from Rathskeller in downtown Indianapolis. It is a German restaurant, been there since the late 1800s. Fantastic mustard made with lots of horseradish. It'll wake you right up. So
Yep.
that's where that is. You got some chips.
Chips on a charcuterie board, that's a first.
It's
And
a-
I don't hate it.
It's
Love
a
it.
saltiness, but I needed something to dip and a little salt
Got some
on there.
ASMR going here.
There we go.
You had that Cypress Grove cheese. I don't know what kind that
What's
was.
this here?
These guys.
Oh, it's called truffle tremor.
All right, we got some truffle cheese. This is a little Coswald. We've got a little bit left. What do you like? That wine crusted.
It's a Merlot crusted cheese. Yeah.
cheese.
That was a good
some pickles. Couple
Talk about
varieties
these,
of
though.
olives. These are some puff pastry galettes that we made.
Kind of like a galette, I think.
Kinda
is what
like
we
a
based off
galette.
of.
We
I mean,
did-
this was all you.
We
made
did some
these.
plum ones. Oh, I forgot to put the vinegar on top of there. I had a pear vinegar that was really good on top of that.
Shit.
Some clementines, a couple varieties of
You
nuts,
blew it.
some dried fruit. That's the start. A little fresh fruit. You just kind of mix it.
For me, when I'm
for me,
when I'm
bud.
looking at a charcuterie situation like this,
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
another cheese
Gee.
to the board.
L'chaim.
Thanks for doing this, by the way, Jordan. This is fun. For me, with a
Thanks for making my
charcuterie
dreams
board,
come true.
it's all about the perfect bite,
Come true.
right? Like I'm all about
See,
crafting.
I don't agree with you.
What is the perfect combination of things here?
For you,
I used to do
it's
that as
load
a
up.
kid. I used to
Not for me.
I would have this thing in my head. I'd do I'm gonna have dinner in a mouth or something. I would take everything on my
Where else are you
plate
gonna
and put it right where else you can put it. Kaboof it, I would put everything on my plate in my mouth at the same time to just want to feel
I do
everything
that.
at once.
I used to
I'm into
say,
everything.
Well, you know where that came from is the gum from Willy Wonka, where they it's the whole meal experience. And when I was like, I can do that.
I was the opposite. As a kid, I kept my food separated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like.
You don't like
You're psycho.
You don't like crossing flavors.
No, I'm kind of plain Jane. I wanted it separate, and I'd save my favorite thing to last, and then I'd eat that last.
At Thanksgiving,
it's a
I
risk, though,
stir it
what
all
if you
together.
get full before you get to your favorite thing? It's a risk.
That's a toughie.
Now I'm a little more adventurous, but not much. You like to load up everything in one bite. For me, I'm
know.
like...
I like to put everything in
I want to
everything,
know
too.
the flavor of just that dried
I'm like
cherry.
staring at this, but I think it's bad radio to be
Just
eating.
sit
it.
back.
Sit back,
Take a little piece of cheese.
choose your bite moments
You lean back.
wisely. We'll see how this goes. We never ate a charcuterie
Sorry,
board on air
everybody.
before, so we're trying things out. Okay, Jordan, I'm changing the topic here.
Go for it.
The Super Bowl calls you. They say, Jordan, we like your taste. We want you to book the halftime show next year. Who you call? Who you putting on there?
Who are you gonna call?
Well, I guess let's start this discussion. What did you guys think of the weekend this year?
It was good, but we weren't wowed. And and we were saying that's sort of an unfair expectation to put on the weekend. Like, you did good, but you didn't wow me. I expect to be wowed. It's the Super Bowl halftime show. But that is the expectation at this point.
For me, my review is not based so much on that. It was I felt like he had a unique opportunity playing to a relatively empty stadium in a pandemic where like social isolation was supposed to be the thing. I felt like his performance was so people loaded. It just didn't really like match the energy of where we were coming from for me.
I think for past Super Bowl show, I don't think it's the crowd that makes it, right? I think it's
how cool would it have been if like he had done something to showcase the empty stadium or to just
Well, I think he kind of did that. I mean, he wasn't like at the 50-yard line. Like he was kind of in the concourse and did the whole Hall of Mirrors thing. Like the production behind it was very impressive, but like I think his music's awesome. Like I love his songs. I think he's got hit. Right. Totally. Something was just like,
something was off for me and I don't know what exactly it was, but
I think one thing that makes a great, Super Bowl halftime show that they've been doing in past years is like the collabs that they've done. You know, like what was it? You had like Bruno Mars and Maroon 5, I think, were together one year. Like I don't know, Justin Timberlake and Stapleton. I forget who. But I mean, in my mind, the best halftime show is Prince.
I agree.
I don't
Prince
think that
was
could be
great.
topped.
I was like obsessed with Gaga.
And like, what was great about that one? Like that was just like hit after hit, live band.
Live band. Prince just
Going in
shredding
the rain.
guitar
Yeah.
solos.
But not everyone like loves guitar solos, but like everyone liked that.
But the balls, and it rained.
Right.
He's got these chicks in heels. Like, it was just like,
was a
nobody
rock
could have
star
pulled that
moment.
off except for Prince.
Right.
And it was like, it was really amazing. But yeah, I feel like at this point, it needs to be like two people.
Right.
Like,
So we were talking about it the other day. And I'm going to actually go and say this was not my idea. I work for an events company. It's my main job. And we were pitching, we are going to be doing events at some point soon. The world is going to come back to that. So I won't name the client, but we were pitching like a large scale event that we're going to be doing. And we were going through like the talent of like what we could do at this event. And one of the ideas that our strategist, shout out Leah Christoph, my work wife, she's awesome. One of the ideas she came up with was Queen with Adam Lambert, Lizzo, and Bruno Mars. And I think you could even take one of those out. I think Bruno's amazing, but like Queen and Lizzo together, like that would be crazy. I think
and that would just kind of blow people's minds a little bit. Yeah,
Yes.
that is a good one. Queen with Lizzo.
I think
Dez would flip her dick off for that show.
I think you combine something old and something new. I think that you got something for everyone. Like
I sort of agree.
Lizzo would probably be freaking out to be playing with Queen and like she could sing on one of those songs and be amazing. Like
You're
it's
right.
like the animal odd pairings. We always love things that don't go together, you know,
Right.
like a puppy and a baby, or, you know, a fawn and a coyote. It's like you love these
Yeah, the
pairs.
Fox and the Hound.
You know, the Fox and the Hound. I don't know.
Yeah, like Led Zeppelin and
I like
Kendrick would be, or like some shit like that. Like just
Yeah.
Yeah, and then to kind of see the intersectionality of it all and just be like, where did these people come together would be really cool. And
right.
one of the, I don't know, I feel like, not to get too into acapella, but like I feel like Pitch Perfect, the acapella sound is kind of having a moment as well. But for me, I love hearing a cover of a song that's done in like such a unique way. I really like it when it's like the gender's reverse and you have like a very, you know, female sound on something that you've just traditionally looked at or heard in this one way. So I don't know. I like the idea of that kind of like juxtaposition of things don't belong.
We should get into like great covers that we love. But another Super Bowl idea. I'm curious what you guys think of it. Pairing old and new. Metallica and Miley Cyrus. What do you think of that?
That'd be cool. Be interesting. Like I'm not the biggest Metallica fan, but I would.
It would be cool.
I'd be curious enough to watch it for sure.
But like their biggest songs, like I mean,
and we saw Metallica at Bonnaroo, and it was so fun.
We saw Chris Rock open for Metallica.
Right, Chris Rock opened for Metallica at Bonnaroo. It was amazing. But yeah, I would definitely tune in for that.
Well, also spoiler that event
pairing.
I was talking about. We got that business. We're going to be doing the event, but it is
yeah boy,
got that Skrilla. That was weird. The talent that we're going with, I hate to inform you, is none other than the G-Man, Garth Brooks.
Oh, beautiful!
Wow, Garth Brooks.
Just Garth alone. That's all it takes is one.
It
one
might
G.
be. I mean, Garth's expensive, man.
I'd be Garth plus G Unit.
Garth plus G Unit.
The G Man plus the G Unit.
That's brilliant. Now I'm into it.
All G.
I'm
G squared.
All G.
God, you're an ideas man, Paul.
The G Man, though.
We won't turn this into a
People love the G Man, but yeah, who are we? Your mom's house? Come on.
Yeah, we're not gonna cut.
Roll a clip.
My siblings all love Garth, and I'm trying to get I want to be sold on it. I want to be into it.
I mean, Low Places. That's a great song.
That's a banger. It's a great song.
There's no question about that.
That's all.
Okay. I'm going to pivot a little bit, but keeping in the same kind of idea. You're putting together a 5-piece band.
This is a tough one.
And they have to be living.
Have to be living. Who's
in the band? So that's drums, bass, guitar, maybe a singer, maybe a horn, but you get 5.
Okay, well, I started the Super Bowl one, so and do you want to go first, Paul?
I want to eat this charcuterie.
I just have to turn this. I fucked up with these cameras somehow. I got to turn this one back on.
Okay, this will give us a minute.
You
to
start.
Think about this.
Okay. If you got ideas, roll with them.
Okay, I mean, like right away, I think you got to go Questlove on drums. I think he's just like multi-genre. Like, I mean, he's awesome. Like he can do anything. So tough.
I agree with the Questy. All right, so who's on bass? I mean, are we just gonna put together D'Angelo's band basically? Like, because who do you get other than Pino?
Okay, so I'll go like a really obscure one. There's this band called the Motet. Have you ever heard of them?
Yeah.
They're kind of in the jam band scene, but they're like just really technical funk.
I think I saw them open for the Who. Does that make sense? Is that possible?
Could be. Yeah.
Anyway.
The bassist for that band, his name's Garrett Sayers, and he is just like ridiculously good. So technical, I can do anything. That mind, like I've played this scenario, my name comes to my head. I'm probably leaving out a lot of great folks. But
what about Paul McCartney on the bass? Like Paul McCartney in a band just holding the bass down.
I love it. I love it. He's an incredible bassist. I like think about like the energy to a show and just like the technical things and like the variety, like the range of songs someone can play. Like I think that's important in that scenario.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny, the difference between the way you all look at music and the way I look at it, because I couldn't even tell you.
Yes.
I don't even know how to begin to answer that question. Like, I don't look at bands as a sum of their parts.
Right. You look at it as the whole thing.
Yeah.
Which is how meditation and Buddhists and people like that sort of are taught to look at the universe, is the way you look at a song.
Oh, shit, I'm enlightened.
You're holistic.
You sort of are. Like, it's
know.
impossible for us or for Paul McCartney or for Rick Rubin to just accept a song as the oneness of a song that it is.
Have you ever been interested in like taking things apart and like looking at individual pieces and like seeing how things are made?
No, not really. It's not.
Interesting.
It's not a strength of my brain, I would say. No.
Yeah, because I remember like taking apart a flashlight.
No,
Yeah, I mean, like Legos. Like Legos were my jam growing up.
I like to build, but it didn't come with like destruction in the front. Like it wasn't like a disassemble to reassemble. It was always just sort of a build from scratch. I don't know. I mean,
there's something nice about that. Well, in this case, like when you're listening to music too, do you focus more on lyrics or the music?
I'm very much about lyrics.
It's like never come to me. Like
I know
can't.
that's what Paul says too. He's like, lyrics don't mean that much.
Yeah.
Lyrics are everything to me. It's the intention of a line, like the subject of the line is everything to me. Like that is what I bond with music, and I do think it's changing a little bit as I've worked more and more with Paul and like made more songs and am like contributing ideas when we're making these like songs and making music.
Well, that's a yin and yang. I mean, you come with one perspective and Paul has another, you know, I mean, if you're making music together, like that complements. So
yeah, that's like why I need JC too, because he's all lyrics.
I do think my ears, he is all
or not
lyrics.
all, but he's mostly lyrics.
And we've talked about that too, where JC and I agree, like the lyrics are everything. I think especially those bands I grew up with, you know, in adolescence and things when I was going through these challenges, these angsty times, quote unquote, like, I don't know, the lyrics had to match, you know, it couldn't just be good music to get me by. But yeah, I do think my ear's changing a little bit.
Dale's just dropping loud toys everywhere. I'm sure the mics are picking that up.
So for you, Jordan, no, it's interesting. So you think you're with Paul where you sort of listen to music and you're dissecting
it's at a detriment to me sometimes. Like I would love to listen to a song and hear what someone's saying and like analyze the lyrics and like all that. But like when I hear a song, like my brain just starts to like just take the pieces apart and like I'm like focusing on like what's the bass doing, like where are they loud enough, like what's the drums, like what is the rhythm with that, like my brain starts beautiful minding it, but I'm not that smart. Like just like I want to see how like
you're one of the
parts are all like so interesting to me.
This is why it frustrates me that you don't produce music, because you have. That's all producing is having an ear enough to know when it's right and you know when it's not right. And when it's not right, the more you produce, the more you just learn to try different things, and maybe then it's right. And when it's right, you'll know.
I will say
that's
too,
part of the thank you.
Also, your music choice. I mean, I agree. It's like I've turned to you for music recommendations and kind of judgment.
I do enjoy
as long as I can remember. You make a mean playlist.
I try.
Mean.
Right, people would buy iPods
but that's
and
part of
then
the
give
reason
them to you for you to load them up.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
you were that guy.
Super illegal.
Super illegal,
but on tape.
But you had the goods. You and Daniel have probably showed me more music than
I stole a lot of music. Look at you,
Oink.com days.
Yeah, that was at it. Something. I was on like a private BitTorrent website. It's bad. How much? Like I think I had 250.
So
gigabytes.
Give back to the music world by making music and give it away for free.
I like that.
Well, I told myself like Spotify. I was going to sign up for that, but Spotify doesn't do anything for artists. So
some of them it does.
Well, so gutting my record collection together, like that's what, like if I hear an album I really like it, I like go and buy it on vinyl right away. I try to, you know. I think that's the way people can get.
So with producing music, what do you think has been holding you back from doing it?
It's a big creative block for me. Like, and I think it's part of the reason, like, I came out here. Like, you guys create so freely, and there's a lesson I can learn from that. Like, for my job, I have to create. You know, I do graphic design. I'm very focused, like, objectively on what a client's looking for or something. And, you know, I do iteration and try different things, but, like, I'm very focused on, like, a specific product. So I don't leave a lot of room for myself to, like, do things incorrectly to get to the right way. Dale. So that's it. Like I get in my head about like not making enough of things and like making it the wrong way to figure out the right way. You know, I do that at times, but like that's the thing that gets in my head. Mm-hmm. And you know, I mean, it takes a lot to sit down and learn a software and all that. You know,
but you're pretty techie. You figure it out pretty quickly.
Bionic. We've established.
Yeah.
Dale, come on. Nope.
Yeah, That's why you're on the show. This is an intervention to get you to start producing.
That's why I came out here.
Yeah,
it's if anyone, you guys should like do like creative retreats or something. People come,
There you
that's
go.
fun.
stay with you, and
That's kind of our goal in life, is to sort of have this house
We both want that.
that people come and like we're like, yeah, we're gonna have like a recording studio, like through the like there's a path to a recording studio building over here. Like then you walk through the path and there's like a big warehouse where just you can make art or pottery or wood or whatever. Like we really do want that, and we talk about it often.
Well, so my creative process though is very much rooted in doing it as a group. Like I think my best ideas are, I think great ideas come as a collective usually. Like I'm not at all like a maestro or anything, so like spitballing ideas off of things and doing things together and different people bringing different things to the table. I think that's like the best design or creative process.
Christine brought this board to the table, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think collaboration is like where, I mean, you can make something yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I can make music myself, but at a certain point, it all feels the same to me. It starts to, at least, But like, if I make a song with you, that's going to sound unlike anything I've ever made because I've never made music with you. Or if I make a song with Christine, that's going to sound like something I've never made because I've never made music with Christine or whatever. So yeah, I'm with you on collabing, but you can still make things yourself. That way, when you collab, you're sort of, exactly what you're bringing to the table. And it's just, it's just fun too.
I mess around on like my iPad and design and stuff, but like, I played bass for a while and they've been kind of collecting dust in my house, and I just got to pick them up, plug them in, and make something.
Sure. And well, the beauty of playing for recording purposes, especially when you're the producer, like you just need to get it right one time and loop it, or even get it wrong one time and loop it, and it sounds like even cooler, like versus playing it. Like what I tell people a lot these days, they're like, what do you play? I'm like, I play drums and I kind of play piano, but like I play like recording studio piano. Like you don't want me in your band playing piano.
Yeah.
Like I'll disappoint you. But like you want me to like just pluck the strings, tinker around for you to find a loop. I can do really cool shit for
What
that.
have you kind of learned about because I mean, you came from like not touching music at all, really.
Yeah, I never had any
now you're living
musical
with Paul and
background.
starting to make all this stuff.
Yeah, I guess for me, I have always written poetry. That's kind of the part that made sense here, was like I like to write and I like poems, so that kind of translated to lyrics pretty easily. Paul's a really encouraging, supportive person, so it's a very easy place. Like he really makes it comfortable to try new things, and I don't know. I mean, it's just been sort of easy, and especially at the beginning, like it's an adrenaline rush. Like my body shakes with adrenaline. It's all very new and exciting. Mm-hmm. And then I think part of me pursuing music became that feeling. Like it's exciting.
Mm-hmm. There's some good results coming out of it. It's like exciting to just see like the first thing you guys recorded, and like the other day we were just sitting like starting to mess around in Logic, and like you out of nowhere just came up with like amazing lyrics. And it's a cool thing to watch. Just kind of the progression of that.
It's been fun. For me, it's like a vibe. So I stay quiet for a long time as you guys are working on this music and like laying down tracks and getting, everything recorded. And then all of a sudden there's like this feeling that sort of it stirs within me. And so I don't know. It's been fun to try to act on that and learn on that a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I always had like little jam sessions. Like I'd excuse myself and go sit outside so I could be alone and sing and write poems and sing. It was like a weird moody thing I did. So now it's just less emo and more collaborative.
Yeah.
I feel like the key is fearlessness.
Sure.
Right? It's just...
Oh, sure.
You just...
Sure.
Sure.
Like, fear just stands in the way so much of everything, especially in a creative way. Like, I'll start painting, and it's like, oof, like, I'm afraid I'll do the wrong or pick the wrong color. Like, once you just get rid of the fear, which I've seen Christine lose the fear. So now, like, her just being like, I got something, like, hand me the mic. And her just doing it. Like, you weren't doing that, like, a year ago or whatever. Like, I would have to kind of pull it out of you a little bit, or just kind of like push the mic up to you and be like, just go ahead, just do it, you know?
Yeah, I did. I felt like I needed the invitation to participate, and I don't feel that way anymore. I have.
For me, it's a bit of expectation too. Like it's frustrating when you have an idea in your head of what you want something to be, and you put the brush to canvas or you start plucking on an instrument, and it's like not like. But that's the whole point. It's the journey of you have to work through it to get there.
Of course, but also don't. It's good to go into it and be like, let's make a disco song. Mm-hmm. But maybe you won't make a disco song. Like, don't be like, ooh, that was cool, but is that disco? You know, be like, oh, this song's really cool, but like, is this hip hop? Well, like, I thought we were making a hip hop song. And it's like, that's where you've just fucked yourself by thinking that way. You know, it's like, it doesn't matter. Like, sure, we started off trying to make a disco song. So we got this funky bass, we got this drums, but then we started doing some acoustic guitar and it became this other thing. And now it's this. And like,
that's the great thing about the music you guys are making and that you've made. Like it becomes so many different things at once that it makes it like you stay on your toes for like, it's danceable. It's catchy the whole way through, but it just changes course of like what inspired it through a lot of the songs you create. And like, and that makes it fresh. Like, I don't think a lot of people are doing that. I mean, there's fusion of genres, but it's just like, sort of like this cool, I don't know, kind of sampling thing. And
yeah, I think Paul's production style is unconventional and full of surprises in like a very good way. It's very refreshing. The fact that you don't really subscribe to staying in a lane.
Who are like, I guess I'm sure it evolved through time. I mean, who's like the first producer you were aware of that I'm like, that guy impresses me? Or like, and then who is it now?
Okay. Maybe it was my sophomore or junior year. The Shins' Shoots Too Narrow album.
Ooh. That's a good one.
I would listen to it with my headphones. And it was when I first started just noticing like...
Did that come from like Garden State? Is that where you learned?
Well, the Shins came from Garden State. Right. Anyone who says it didn't is lying. Right. You know? But like, but that album that album wasn't on Garden State. It was sort of like we all found out about the Shins through Garden State and then they dropped Shoots Too Narrow. Mm-hmm. And that was the first time I noticed like, whoa, like, the drums were over here, and like the keys is over here, and the like just kind of the balance and the production. And then that same year, I sort of discovered Revolver, the Beatles album, like to really get into it. And that was again where I was like, I started just noticing like things they did more than just how they played it or how they wrote it, like production. Mm-hmm. So then the Lay It Down Al Green album.
Oh man. Is that the one they did with the Roots and everything?
Yeah.
Yep.
That album came out and I loved it. It was this Al Green album that came out in 2008 and I loved it. And then I think I found out Questlove was drumming and then I found out Questlove produced it. And like, I didn't even really understand like what that meant at the time. Like he produced it. Like, I don't get it, you know? And so then I started diving into Questlove's production. That's when the Rising Down album came out with
I forgot
with that Wale verse that was insane. And
Go-Go
it was a
music.
Roots album.
That's all inspired by go-go music. That was like a big section of
so I just sort of started paying attention. And at that time Daniel was also showing us like Outkast. Like Daniel was sort of discovering all this really cool hip hop. He was like Equimini, Mama's Gun, like Water for Chocolate, and all this stuff that at the time I didn't even realize Questlove had a hand in.
Right.
But anyway, I just started paying more and more attention to it. Nowadays, Damon Albarn, the Gorillaz, insane. Mm-hmm. Kanye West, insane. Kanye. Probably more than anyone, to be honest.
I know because you've always been big in the Kanye camp.
I've always been a huge Kanye
since Life of Pablo. I'm 100% in the Kanye camp. Mm-hmm. I just the production, the weirdness, like the blurring of genres, the making something kind of sound wrong on purpose, and it's at a point where you know it's Kanye, so it's like if it sounds wrong, he did it on purpose. I mean, you know,
Life of Pablo was before Yeezus, or
no, after Yeezus.
Because I mean, I think Yeezus was like the one where we were like really stepping.
Watch the Throne, like oh my god, Watch the Throne. Yeah, I don't know. And it's
Or
just,
even, I mean, I think like it was even My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Like that one, when that first came out, I'm like, I do not like this at all. And
yeah,
then
people didn't.
and then I
wasn't,
was like, holy shit, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Like that whole Runaway, like bing, boom. I was
Right.
like, this is too simple, you know. And
Right.
then I was like,
right.
and then it became like an anthem. Like I was like, this
Sure.
is amazing.
Yeah, well, I saw Kanye say, he's like, when his album comes out, if people don't like it, like that's fine. He's like, I don't make music for today. I make music for tomorrow. Like maybe when you hear it, you're not going to understand it.
It's hard
at
for people
first.
to like remove everything else that comes with Kanye from
Sure.
just like his music.
But that's also the way kind of with everything. Like even the Kendrick Damn album,
yeah.
when it first came out, I was like, it's okay.
That
But
one's-
but then I heard it 2 weeks later and was like, this is the best album I've heard since Life of
do
Pablo.
you like
but
do you like that one more than To Pimp a Butterfly?
I do.
That
But
Pimp a Butterfly.
Pimp a Butterfly is amazing
That can't be
too.
touched for me.
Awaken My Love.
And then
Like
the rest
a lot of
us
these
have
albums.
a lot of homework. Yeah.
A lot of these albums are like,
We should make a little playlist and put it in the.
they take a
Ooh,
minute to digest. And I'm hoping maybe that's with the case with That Kid Is You. Like maybe when you first hear it, you're like, oh, it's cool, it's different. But maybe then it like sort of,
Yeah,
you
I
listen
mean-
to it 2 weeks later and you're like, oh, shit. Like
You might be onto a formula here, but
I like, you sort of want people to be caught off guard when they first hear something. And that's because of Kanye. Like that, I got that. So anyway, sorry, super long-winded question. Nobody ever asked me questions, so I got excited. But yeah, that's the big stuff.
we got to complete the band. I don't like where.
Who's
we
playing
start.
keys?
I'm going to excuse myself and use the restroom. Bye.
All right, cool. We'll see you in a bit.
Okay.
Complete your band.
Who's playing keys? Like I don't know. I'm blanking on people. right now.
Medeski? Like, would that be
John
too
Medeski's
much?
crazy. I'm gonna have to think about this and like put it in the show notes or something.
I would. Okay, let's think. No, we can figure this out on the air. All right. So Questlove's drumming.
I think that one's
Let's
solid.
put Paul
I'm not-
McCartney on the bass.
Okay, fine. I'm in.
McCartney's on the bass.
Yeah.
Guitar. We got options. You could have Jack White. You could have fucking Keith Richards.
I'm
You
like
could have
everyone
Jimmy
I'm thinking of
Page.
is dead right now.
Yeah. You could have Gary Clark.
Oh, okay. I want Nile Rodgers on guitar.
Beautiful. That's the guy who did like Chic or whatever.
Yeah, and like Get Lucky. And
Yeah,
he's an
great.
incredible producer.
Great. This is turning into a really good show.
Yeah.
So we got our three. Who's our front man? Who's singing? Or woman? Miley would be dope.
Yep.
Karen O would be pretty crazy, but maybe not necessarily able to. Karen O would be dope. Bruno Mars would kill it.
Bruno, I think, is like he is unbelievable.
I agree.
That's a show I like really need to go and see.
I agree. Let's put Bruno at the front.
Okay, I'm in.
That's our front man, Bruno Mars.
But like, I don't like the thing is like this is like veering like too funky. Like I want this band to be able to do
Okay.
everything. So
Okay. Bruno's out.
no, Bruno's got to stay. He does do everything. Like he grew up as like.
All right, so Bruno's in.
All right.
So now we get one more member. We're going to want someone pretty versatile. Maybe they can play keys and sax or something like that.
Edgar Winter.
Edgar Winter. Edgar Winter.
That's a banger of a band right there.
And while we're at it, we'll just call it the Edgar Winter Jam.
The Edgar Winter Jam.
The Edgar Winter Jam at Bonnaroo, 2021.
I'm gonna put more
I'm
thought
going.
behind this for real.
I'm going.
Let's put it in the show notes because I've played this game before and I'm just blanking on what my answers are.
All right,
but that's a pretty solid band. I will
That's a
say.
good band.
Yeah,
There's no question. That's a good band.
yeah.
All right, I got another one of these little exercises.
Okay.
Coachella calls.
Thank you for taking care of the chicken.
Oh,
And he just loves his auntie. That's
wanna
where he
just-
wanted to be the whole time.
Plug in.
Ah, this fucking camera. So Coachella calls.
Yep.
Jordan
Oh, don't go.
Jordan Lipshutz.
Whoa.
We're going to do a main stage headlining slot, and it's going to be a surprise band.
D'Angelo.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. But yes.
You'd go
Surprise
with
band.
D'Angelo?
Well, no. Finish the question.
Well, just that's what it's going to be. It'll be billed as surprise.
I just saw like the last podcast you did. You guys were talking about best live show. D'Angelo. It's like easy.
Did you see D'Angelo at Bonnaroo?
He played. What was it? North Coast.
Oh, so it wasn't like that, the Super Jam.
No. No. That would have been awesome to be at. But no, he like, when he put out Black Messiah, he played North Coast, and
That's the best show you ever saw?
oh my God. I was like 5th row for that. And like one of my favorite bassists also, who could easily be in this band, Pino Palladino.
Yeah.
Like he plays with The Who and everything, big session guy. My eyeballs were like rattling in my skull, which I know is not good for you, but like it was awesome. The bass was just like so like on you.
Pino is crazy.
Yeah.
On you, in you, all around you.
Pino's like a thumpy,
Yep.
like
Really like kind of beats his strings.
Yeah,
as he
yeah.
plays, yeah.
he's a thumper.
Yeah. What was the question though? Main stage.
I mean, maybe it's who cares about all these fun little exercises?
Okay.
But well,
We're done exercising.
fuck it, fuck the exercise. Well, let's get away from these music exercises.
Okay.
No, fuck the exercises. My mom's gonna call, be like, the podcast was great, but then you started second guessing
I
all
have
your
trouble
all your
closing my rings here.
exercises.
I'm not. I gotta close my rings. We need the exercise.
Let's
I don't even know what that reference means, bionic man.
Bionic tech. Forget it.
I assumed it was robotic language.
You're better off not knowing.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to go climb a
What
tree.
is this guy doing down here? All he wants to do is fetch.
so
What else we got?
let's close this out.
Yep. Yeah, we've been at it for a
Been
minute.
like an hour and a half.
I was hoping you'd say so. I mean,
Yeah, we got bored to eat.
Yes.
Jordan, you're here in LA for another week or
A week. Yeah.
week. We're gonna have a lot of fun, make some tunes, do some cooking.
Yes.
ooh,
What have you still yet to cook while you're
also,
here?
You guys are working on other projects other than that.
Well, yeah, but That Kid Is You EPK that we're getting ready for,
Yeah, we got
or
that.
that we're making.
Put some pen to paper on that.
Yeah. Also the new intro Jordan helped us make, and Jordan designed the logo itself, the Elk Lodge logo. How did we not mention that?
I don't know.
Co-designed.
Co-designed, right? Christine made the elk stamp,
Right. Christine did the block print for the elk.
and then Jordan
I
put
kinda
together
based
the
letters
thing over
around
it and the letters, and then the new intro that you just saw, we produced right here. At the end of this, we'll show you the.
Well, kind of being, I'm sort of the pseudo art director for That Kid Is You, I guess, because I made the logo. But like,
For Elk Lodge,
you
you
were putting or Elk Lodge. I'm sorry.
Soon to be for That Kid
You
Is You.
started putting out these and like the title sequence and then the like title cards. I'm like, no, this is all right. The type's wrong and everything.
Well, I wonder how for this.
So I
Hopefully,
came
we
in
did.
hot with the ideas, but like again, the collective. Like I had a little bit of an idea, and I kind of storyboarded it out. But then like we just collect. Like Christine's collaging skills are unmatched. Like she did the whole background on that, and she was like, "Oh, we should put some like flowers at the top too, the fauna."
Thanks,
and then I was
Cal.
like, "We should do some play with like the lights and the shadows with that." It came together very nicely.
It
It did. It was a good team.
I think when you collaborate, you make great stuff like that.
Yeah.
Everyone brings different ideas to the table.
We
And
collaborate, we rise. What's that saying? The
I don't- The one
think
you just made
that's-
up?
That's
There's
it.
something-
That's the saying.
When you
the
collaborate,
water
we
rises,
rise.
all
When we
sh-
collaborate,
the
we rise.
The tide comes in, all ships rise, or something. I don't know. I'm not good with idioms.
I don't.
No.
Well, but you're good at poetry, and
But-
you just spit off
well,
two right there.
I like
bud.
to improvise. I don't like
When
to
the water
subscribe.
flows,
When the water
ships
flows,
are-
shit goes.
When the
swell.
water flows, you're wiping.
Shit goes
When
swell.
the water flows, you're wiping your ass with Tushy.
There you go.
Shout out to Hello Tushy.
Use
Go to
promo-
hellotushy.com, promo code Elk Lodge for 0% off and expensive shipping. But we'll get sponsors eventually. Anyway, Jordan, thank you for doing this.
Yeah,
This was really good. Maybe we'll even do a second. Maybe we'll do a part 2 while you're here. Who the fuck knows? I don't know who the next guest
We don't
is.
stay in lanes because people say you have to drive that speed.
That's right.
Well,
We have wiggle room.
I gotta think about the fantasy band too. I have some people to consult with. I gotta put this together.
Whether we do it right away or not,
Kidding.
I'm sure you'll be on this show again,
Yeah.
many more times and many to come. So anyway,
Sounds
much
good to
love.
me.
Thank you everybody for watching.
Can we get an elk call to sign out? Should we all
Ooh,
do
what
that?
does an alcohol even sound like?
No,
You are the
I
kid
know
that
it's a
sounds-
thing because people do some mad elk hunting. It might be something like. I think that's it.
That was amazing.
I think they sound like that.
What?
Hit us with that one more time. Play us out. Jordan Lipshutz with the elk call. Thank you, everybody. Good night. That was like Elko Ono.
Elko Ono.
Elko Oh no. All right. Love you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much for your time.
And now let's get into this.
And
And
let's
to you,
feast.
Christine.
Oh, thank you.
Let me shake your hand.
Oh, yeah, sure.
We got plenty of time.